Greetings, fellow Whovians, and happy 1st of June to everyone out there. Yay! And welcome to another Hartnell Era review. Today we are going to be looking at the Time Meddler. And in this episode, we're going to encounter another Time Lord, but it's not the Master this time, so yeah. Anyway, let's dive into the Time Meddler. Alright. The Doctor and Vicki find Stephen Taylor aboard the TARDIS after he stumbled in a disoriented state on Mechanus. When the TARDIS lands on a rocky beach and the Doctor establishes the sentry from a discarded Viking helmet and heads off to the village. Stephen and Vicki explore the cliffs above, witnessed by a monk. Ooh. The TARDIS is soon after spotted by a Saxon villager, Eldred, who runs to tell Hedwyn of his village, Wolnoth. The Doctor encounters Edith, Wolnoth's wife, and convinces her he is a harmless traveler while probing for more information. He finds out it is 1066, since Harold Godwinson is on the throne and is not face Harold Hardrada. That's a really weird name to pronounce. Anyway, at Stamford Bridge, led on William the Conqueror in the Battle of Hastings. At a nearby monastery, monks are heard chanting. The monk lets the Doctor in and allows him to prowl around and find a gramophone playing the chant, plus modern conveniences such as a toaster and a teapot. The monk traps the Doctor in a cell. Oh, that's not good. Stephen and Vicki encounter Eldred and notice he has a wristwatch that the monk dropped earlier. They spend the night in a clearing and the next morning are ambushed by the Saxons and taken to the village council. They convince Wolnoth they are but travelers and are given provisions to travel on. Vicki is heartened to hear from Edith that the Doctor passed by her hut on his way to the monastery. Stephen and Vicki visit the monastery, where the monk tries to dissuade them from entering but gives himself away by describing the Doctor too accurately. Stephen and Vicki decide he must be a prisoner inside. They break in after dark. Good plan. The monk sees a Viking ship on the horizon. The Vikings land in two small groups are sent to search the area. One of the Vikings finds and attacks Edith, and the Saxons go hunting for the invaders. The Vikings are drunk, and the giant that attacked Edith is cut down. His companions, Sven and Ulf, flee. Eldred has been badly wounded, and Wolnoth takes him to the monastery for help. Stephen and Vicki find the gramophone. They then manage to leave the monastery via a secret passage. Stephen and Vicki have found that the TARDIS has been submerged beneath the incoming tide. Uh-oh. They resolve to return to the monastery to look for the Doctor. The Doctor has escaped by the same passage himself and returns to the Saxon village. He soon hears of the Viking scouting party and decides to head back to the monastery to track down Stephen and Vicki. The Doctor has the upper hand when the monk answers the door and believes he is being held at gunpoint. The monk is being questioned by the Doctor when they are overpowered by the two Vikings, Sven and Ulf. In the ensuing confrontation, the monk slips away, leaving the Doctor the Vikings' prisoner. The Doctor knocks out Sven, and elsewhere the monk does the same to Ulf. The monk uses his freedom to persuade the villagers to light beacon fires on the cliff tops, telling them he is expecting materials by sea, when in fact he wishes to lure the Viking fleet to land. Wolnoth agrees to light the fires, but does not do so as he realizes the danger. Smart man. Stephen and Vicki return to the monastery via the secret passage and investigate the crypt, whereby heavy power cable emanates from a sarcophagus. Look inside, they discover that it's the monk's TARDIS and that he must have come from the same place as the Doctor. Well, duh. The monk has returned to the monastery and is once more under the Doctor's control. His plans to throw the Vikings to the coast and destroy the fleet with atomic bazookas. What? This would shore up King Harold to such an extent that he would not then lose the Battle of Hastings. The monk is a Time Meddler. Ugh. The Doctor denounces the monk for seeking to alter history and forces him to reveal his TARDIS, where they find Stephen and Vicki. Together, the time travelers piece together the monk's plot, which the monk insists is intended to stabilize England and benefit Western civilization. Yeah, that's what you think. Ulf and Sven have formed an alliance with the monk and have tied up the Doctor's party, while the three of them take the bazooka shells down to the cannon on the beach. The scheme is foiled, however, and Wolnoth and the Saxons arrive and engage the fleeing Vikings in a nearby clearing, killing Sven and Ulf in battle. Yay! The monk hides while the fighting rages, little knowing the Doctor and his friends have been freed and are tampering with his TARDIS. When the scheme ruins, the monk decides to leave and return to his TARDIS, though the doctor left a note assuring the monk that his mailing days are ended. When the monk looks inside and realizes the doctor has taken the dimensional control and the interior of his ship has shrunk beyond use, leaving him stranded in 1066. The tide having gone out, the doctor and his friends are free to leave. Well, looks like the doctor and his companions sure show that guy. Anyway, let's look at the continuity and production elements of this story, shall we? The Time Meddler is the first example of what is known in Doctor Who as the pseudo-historical or ahistorical story, which is one that uses the past as a setting for a science fiction story, as opposed to the pure historicals, which are set in the past but have no science fictional elements attached to them besides the presence of the regular characters and the TARDIS. This is the first time we meet another member of the Doctor's race besides his granddaughter, although they are not yet identified as Time Lords. The monk's name is not revealed in the story, in which he is simply called the Monk, the Meddling Monk, or the Time Meddler. Later spin-off novels give the name as Mortimus and establish that the monk and the doctor attended the academy as schoolmates. The character will make one return appearance on television in the epic The Daleks' Master Plan. Due to an error by Maureen O'Brien during recording, the acronym TARDIS is said to stand for Time Relative Dimensions in space rather than singular dimension, as in An Unearthly Child, an error which was retained throughout much of the series' history, with occasional exceptions. The original dimension was re-established in the first episode of the revived 2005 series, Rose, and so far maintained thereafter. Thank God for that. Vicki and the Doctor discuss Ian Chesterton and Barbara Wright's departure as seen in The Chase, and the Doctor refers to Susan's departure as seen in The Dalek Invasion Earth. The Doctor later misses Barbara's knowledge of history. Aww. The working title for the story was The Monk. During production of this story, new producer John Miles began taking over production duties. William Hartnell, displeased at the number of changes undergoing the production, play-acted throwing a temper tantrum during the rehearsal of this story. Ugh. Footage of the Viking ship was taken from a BBC newsreel item about a Viking recreation on the south coast of England. In the remastered DVD version, this footage is restored from the original film, and the complete item appears on the DVD extras. Oh, that's cool. Episodes 1, 3, and 4 were reported missing from the BBC Film and Videotape Library following an audit in 1978. Edited tail recordings of all 4 episodes were returned to the BBC from Nigeria in 1985, and complete copies of Episode 1 and 3 were returned in 1992. A short sequence from Episode 4, depicting active violence, remains missing from the otherwise complete prints of all 4 episodes, as it was removed by censors. The 2008 Region 2 DVD release includes as an extra called The Missing 12 Seconds. The audio for this missing sequence with original script excerpts and explanatory text. It appears that 2 Vikings were seen on screen to be run through by the swirling Saxons via the use of dummies. William Hartnell does not appear in episode 2 as he was on holiday. A pre-tape recording of his voice is played when the Doctor is locked in his cell. Violet Charlton also appeared in An Unearthly Child as the cave woman, Her. Well, that was sure interesting, wasn't it? Anyway, now seeing as this was the first pseudo-historical instead of a pure historical, it's not really as good as some of the actual pure historicals like Marco Polo or the Aztecs or like. So, with all that being said, I give The Time Meddler 4 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. Well, I will see you guys next time when we explore Galaxy 4. See what I did there? Anyway, until next time, this is Hoovy and Queen saying, "Oh my Gideons, when I say run, run, averse polarity of the neutron flow. Would you like a jelly baby? Fantastic. Allons-y, Geronimo! Bow ties are cool, vests are cool, and Stetsons are cool."